We're Sarah and Kate, and this is everything we did on our week aboard P&O's IONA visiting Stavanger, Ålesund, Olden and Haugesund for our first Norwegian Fjords cruise. Now, having sailed with P&O in February, we booked this cruise a few months after the first, as there was a discount available if you booked within a certain amount of time. Sarah has visited Norway before to see the Northern Lights, and she's wanted to see more of Norway ever since, so this cruise was perfect. 2 weeks before departure, we could pre-book any shows, restaurants and excursions for port days. Pre-booking restaurants or extras like the drinks package, for which we chose the non-alcoholic version, often come with a discount, so if you're thinking about this for your cruise, make sure to check on the website and your emails for any deals. We also packed a few soft drinks and alcoholic drinks to have in our cabin in the evening, sitting out on the balcony to enjoy the views. Each guest aged 18 and over, or 21 when you're in American ports, is allowed to bring 1 litre of wine or champagne on board. If you drink this outside your cabin, you will be charged a corkage fee of £20 per bottle, per occasion, so it can get expensive if you don't stick to this. We packed our bags the night before and printed off our luggage tags for the cases, boarding passes, proof of insurance, any excursion tickets from companies outside P&O, and our car park ticket for when we reached the port. The Southampton football team were playing at home on the day we were due to board, and there were train strikes, so we were a little worried about traffic. Thankfully, the drive was smooth and we arrived at the port at 1 p.m, checked the car in for parking, dropped off our luggage and headed into the terminal, very surprised to find there wasn't a queue. Some people had arrived earlier than their boarding time, so they were told to wait, but as we were there within 10 minutes of our time, we were allowed to board. We were asked for our passport and boarding card, which were checked and stamped. Though we'd printed out proof of insurance, this wasn't checked, but we always take a copy just in case. From check-in, to security, to visiting our muster station, it took a speedy 10 minutes. Sarah was familiar with the layout of the ship since she'd already been on Iona for the Northern Europe City Escape cruise earlier in the year. Unlike the last cruise, we booked a standard balcony, and as we didn't purchase select fare, there wasn't a room upgrade like last time. However, we thought the size of the standard balcony cabin was good, and there was plenty of space to put everything away. The cabin was decorated really nicely, the bed was comfy, and we had tea, coffee and biscuits refreshed daily, and a fridge to store the drinks we'd brought on board with us. After unpacking, we went to the Sunset Bar at the back of the ship to get a non-alcoholic cocktail, which was included in our drinks package. Without this, you're looking at around £3.75 for a mocktail, while a regular cocktail is around £8. At 2 p.m, we went to the Quays for fish and chips. It was very quiet as other passengers were still boarding or hadn't yet arrived. The Quays also serves a burger and then a katsu or curry option, which changes every day. We finished off lunch with an ice cream from Ripples, which was an extra charge, before going back to the cabin to sit on the balcony and watch the sail away, leaving from Southampton around 5 p.m. For dinner that night, we had pre-booked the beach house and prepaid £7.50 per person, which was discounted. So you would pay a little more if you were to book on board or at the restaurant itself, but it would be around £9 per person, so not a huge difference. Everything on the menu is included in this charge, aside from a couple of things which are marked, like steak and a sharer dessert, which are an additional cost. We had the tostadas and chicken wings as sides, and both chose the steak for the main course. The steak is seared in the kitchen and then arrives to your table on a hot rock, so you can cook it yourself. Sarah cut hers up into individual pieces to cook as she likes hers rare. These came with a side of prawns and chips. For dessert, we had waffles and an apple pie. As our steaks were an additional cost, it was charged to our room. You can see your bill at any point on your TV and receive a printed bill the night before you leave the ship. So be sure to check it and make sure everything is correct before you leave and your card is charged. If it's not, guest services can help here. That night, our first Horizon magazine was delivered, and this shows everything that's happening the following day. You'll see opening times for restaurants, shops, bars, and entertainment happening all over the ship. Take a picture of the things you want to do, or use a pen to circle things you're interested in. Rather than carrying a full backpack like we do on port days, we'd recommend a small crossbody bag for essentials like your phone, sunscreen, and the Horizon magazine if you don't want to take a picture of it. Now, sometimes it's very difficult to know what to wear or pack on a cruise like this because inside the ship it's all temperature controlled and you could walk around in t-shirt and shorts. Outside on deck or at port, especially if the weather has been unpredictable, we'd recommend layering so you can warm up or cool down as you need. One day we were wearing jumpers in the morning and by the afternoon we were sunbathing by the pool. The week before we sailed, ports had been cancelled and itineraries changed due to storms. We were extremely lucky that the sea was calm and the weather was warm during our week on board. In fact, we had been keeping an eye on the weather forecast and hadn't packed sun cream, which was a bad decision, and we ended up having to pick some up later. If you've got any questions, leave us a comment below and like and subscribe for more videos like this.